Thank you for tuning in to another episode of the D&B podcast. I go by the name of Camille Salamander and my co-host KB the Mark.
Cause I'm a fucking mark for this shit. And we're back. Salamander got some news for you. Just a couple things I really want to discuss. But first off, as always, how you doing?
I'm feeling good. I'm feeling good. Great Tuesday.
Who's not having who's not having a great Tuesday? The Almighty. He took a pinfall loss yesterday, clean on Raw, and what I'm about to share with you now, if he doesn't know already, it's really going to upset him. So we're starting off with the top 10 WWE superstars of the Thunderdome era, and this is coming to us by eWrestlingNews.com. They ranked their top 10 superstars of the Thunderdome era. Here are the honorable mentions for you, Salamander, before I jump into the list. AJ Styles, Apollo Crews, Bianca Belair, Cesaro, Main Event Jey Uso, Matt Riddle, Rhea Ripley, Seth Rollins, The Miz, and John Morrison. What you think of that?
I could tell already by the honorable mentions this list gonna be some bullshit. But some of the people on the honorable mentions should be on that list. I could tell already this about to be some bull. But
you ready for the list?
Yeah.
Number 10, Sasha Banks. Numbers 9 through 6, The Hurt Business, Bobby Lashley, MVP, Shelton Benjamin, and Cedric Alexander. Number 5, Randy. Do you want to chime in on that, or you want me to finish?
I'm gonna listen to the list first.
Number 5, Randy Orton. Number 4, Edge. Number 3, Drew McIntyre. And Bayley, and my tribal chief, the head of the table, Roman Reigns, tied for number 1. I know you got a lot to say on that 9 through 6 being the Hurt Business.
I have a lot to say about the whole list, but I'm gonna start with the Hurt Business. Who did this list?
It's from eWrestlingNews.com.
They're not certified. They don't even qualify for this. They don't qualify to talk about the Almighty. How do you disrespect the Almighty like that? Number 9 through 6. Are you serious? No. If it wasn't, that was one of the best things that came out of the pandemic era, was the fact that we got something out of nothing. MVP staying with the company, that was supposed to be a one-off thing, but it ended up turning into something. They ended up keeping him in and pairing him up with Bobby Lashley, and then we got something nobody was expecting. Shelton Benjamin or Cedric Alexander to get the push that they got. They made something out of nothing. And frankly, I think, it should be one or two. Bobby or Roman. It should be one or two. They shouldn't know. That's too much of a gap. For one. For two, people on the honorable mention list, no, this list is not certified. This list is not qualified. Whoever made this list, please go back and do your job, because this list is horrible. You obviously didn't watch enough wrestling during the pandemic, because you missed out on a lot of people, and a lot of people who didn't make the list should have been on that list. A lot of people who was higher up on the list should have been at least like top 5. Bobby. Yeah, this list is horrible.
So I had to really look at this list and break it down. And I agree with the Roman, because he has the top storyline in the wrestling business. I agree with Bayley.
If you put Roman up there, you gotta put Main Event Oops. That's what I'm saying. Like, you have to, because if it wasn't for the Roman Reigns storyline, or it wasn't for Roman Reigns, we wouldn't have Main Event Oops. So how you put Roman at number 1, but you don't put Main Event? You don't even mention. You just get an honorable mention. That's it. Made no sense.
I get it. So I get the Roman Reigns, and I also agree with the Bayley being like a 1A or a 1B.
I want to say she's 1.
Well, you got to think, she really carried that company, especially during the earlier parts of the pandemic. Her and Sasha Banks was tearing it up. They were must-see TV.
Number 10. Sasha just been off of TV after WrestleMania, but before that, she was on TV every week. That's what I mean. Whoever did this listening, go back, do that job. 'Cause this is not it.
I mean, I'm not gonna hold you. When I look at the Hurt Business, I wouldn't put Shelton Benjamin or Cedric Alexander in here. I would honestly take them out and maybe put Lashley at maybe a number 3. I wouldn't have Edge number 4. I would have maybe like a Bianca Belair, because she really, for the latter part, since she won her WrestleMania match against Sasha, for real, the weeks leading up to WrestleMania and then after, to me, she's been must-see television. I was very surprised too that they had the Hurt Business this low and Edge that high. Like, Edge just came back after
Edge
WrestleMania.
had like 3 matches during the pandemic.
Yeah, we didn't even see. Well, no, he had, when the pandemic first started, he had a couple different matches against Randy. And then you have the Royal Rumble. I think he's had like probably 5 or 6. He's had a couple, but I mean, honestly, Edge can go in that 9 to 6 range to me. We can get somebody else in here, like you said, a main event Uso or a Cesaro. And for real, since Apollo Crews has turned heel, this is the best that he's ever looked. So to have like Apollo Crews as an honorable mention, that's shocking, because him and Big E, even though they were shoving it down our throats, they were putting on fantastic matches. Week in and week out on SmackDown. And then the match they had at WrestleMania where Big E won the Intercontinental Championship. I'm sorry, not Big E, Apollo Crews, where Apollo Crews won the Intercontinental Championship. You know, like, to have Apollo Crews in the honorable mentions, you know who I'm surprised is in here is Rhea Ripley. She shouldn't even be anywhere close to an honorable mention. Her and Charlotte have single-handedly destroyed the women's division along with the booking on Monday Night Raw. So how she's even in here as an honorable mention? Because let's be honest, she really wasn't even on the main roster for real. She had the WrestleMania match with Charlotte and then was right back in NXT trying to figure this shit out.
And she only came. Well, she shouldn't even be on the list. Only reason why she made it because she's the champion. But she like 2 weeks before WrestleMania, that's when she made her main roster debut.
Yeah, because it came down to her and Bianca and the Royal Rumble. Bianca won that, and then they were just like, well, let's just call up Rhea Ripley. She can go against Asuka. Because they were going to do Charlotte, but they didn't confirm if Charlotte had COVID or she came into contact, but I think it was COVID related. That's why they just said, let's just bring up Rhea.
But still, one main thing they messed up at was separating the tag teams. You could have put the tag, like the Hurt Business, as one, because it's during the Thunderdome era. Yeah, this list.
I mean, they just have them 9 through 6, and then when Shelton Benjamin and Cedric Alexander were released from the Hurt Business, they went on to become the Neighborhood Jobbers. Mm-hmm. So to even have them on this list is shocking. Like MVP and Bobby Lashley, the Almighty, that's understandable. Look, Shelton Benjamin and Cedric, that's a stretch.
All I'm gonna say about this, and then we can move on. If it wasn't for the Roman Reigns storyline and the Bobby Lashley storyline, nobody will be watching WWE during this pandemic. Them two is the only ones that's actually carrying the company right now. Both respectfully on each brand. They are carrying their show right now. And that's it. It shouldn't. Yeah.
Hold on.
Whoever did his list just need to go back and redo it. Just like the YouTube report top 10 women wrestlers, and right now, that list was totally wrong too.
Sure, maybe we ought to add this to the Bleacher Report one, where we do our top 10 wrestlers of the Thunderdome era.
Yeah.
But I want to touch on one thing before we move on to the next story. Randy Orton is on this list at number 5, and outside of the stuff that he was doing with Edge, he was going back and forth with The Fiend, and that wasn't really intriguing television. He was coughing up black goo He got straddled by Alexa Bliss. He burned the Fiend to a crisp. Like, does that signify number 5 on this list to you?
I will replace Randy with AJ, just for the simple fact is we had one of the greatest Undertaker WrestleMania matches since he lost. Even though it was cinematic, it was still a great match. Even the stuff that he's doing now with the tag scene, it just, if you compare what Randy did and what AJ did, I think AJ had a bigger effect than Randy. I mean, come on, he faced the Undertaker, gave Undertaker basically his retirement match, and it was good at that.
I just don't know if Randy, to me, deserves a spot on this, because everything that we saw with the Fiend was cringe to downright shouldn't even be on television. I mean, you had Alexa Bliss sitting in a Star of David, like that, and that's what they're pushing. And I like some of that edgier content, but that ain't it. At least to me. Somebody else, they might like that. To me, that ain't it. That ain't it. Moving on to our next story. This is coming from WrestlingInc.com. Kurt Angle never heard back after WWE reached out for PC role. So Kurt Angle was just talking about when the WWE reached out to him for a Legends contract. He had asked to do some work down there at the PC, and he never heard back. So this is what Kurt Angle said. Triple H, he contacted me about 7 months ago, wanted me to help out down at NXT, wanted me to be a trainer, and he only said, hey, all I need you to do is go over stuff with talent. You can do it from home or your computer. You can do a Zoom call, just go through the tapes with them in their match and tell them what they did right, what they did wrong. I said I'd be interested, and I never heard back from them. Long story short, they were interested, but at the last second, they must have backed out, which is okay with me. Kurt Angle is a WWE Hall of Famer. Two-parter. What do you think about this story, and are you okay with the disrespect of a Hall of Famer?
Now, so I seen a video. I believe his name's Eddie Kendricks. Not Eddie Kendricks, but Eddie Kingston.
You talking about Eddie Kingston from All Elite?
Yeah. And he basically did like a shoot. I guess it was at the end of the show, but taking shots at WWE.
Yeah.
And he was saying that, All Elite cares about their fans. They listen to their fans, and they would never disrespect Legends and stuff. So, I mean, I be hearing a lot about this disrespect towards Legends from WWE, and I'm starting to believe it. Especially when it's like a Kurt Angle. Like, how do you dare disrespect Kurt Angle? How do you not pick up his calls? How do you not offer him anything? Whether it's a coach, backstage role, anything. It's Kurt freaking Angle. That's like fucking, they dropped the ball with Sting. That's why he left. And that's like the Undertaker trying to come in and coach, and you just like ignoring him. So he said, forget it, I'm gonna go to the next company. And then you get mad at him because he did that. It's ridiculous at this point. I don't know what's going on with WWE. I don't know what they need to do. They need to do a lot of things, but it's getting ridiculous. Are we witnessing the downfall of the WWE right now? Are they going through the WCW moments right now? Are they gonna go through and take the TNA route? Like, the downfall is it really declining right now? Is AEW really making them fucking forget how to fucking book? Forget how to fucking tell stories? Is they applying the pressure that bad just because we have another potential competition in the United States and y'all not the big the main course anymore? So it's like y'all forgot what to do. Y'all was giving us bullshit because it's like, wrestling fans, we gonna have to watch it because y'all the only things here. So now that we got another company that's on national TV just like y'all and actually doing good stuff and doing more than what y'all doing and actually listen to the fans and doing everything that we want to hear, it's like y'all scared. So it's like y'all forget how to fucking do what the fuck y'all do best. It's ridiculous.
Salamander, we are not witnessing the demise of WWE, nor are they in their WCW phases. Us little people over here at AEW are no threat to WWE. We're nothing but a bunch of indie carnies with a couple of WWE guys who decided to come over. And we are honestly no threat. We can barely get over 1 million views. As bad as Raw has been and as bad as SmackDown has been, outside of Roman Reigns and a couple of other key tweaks here and there, we'll never be able to be the company that WWE is, because here at AEW, all we believe in is flips and kicks, dives. We're gymnasts. We like to, twinkle our fingers, and we like to jump over the ropes. Yeah, we might listen to our fans, but at the end of the day, who honestly wants to watch a group of carnies? Because that's what they call us. We're the little guys who will never make it in WWE. That's what we are.
But let me say something. If I'm a wrestling fan, die hard, and I keep asking for specific things, and the main company that's like that everybody know about is not listening to us. So a smaller company who just was established a couple years ago is coming up, and they actually listen to the fans and giving us everything we've been asking this big company for. Yeah, eventually they're gonna give them a run for their money. It may not happen right now, but I bet you by 2025, WWE gonna be shriveling in the corner.
Nah, look, man. Hey, we're just little people over here. Don't try to hype us up to be any bigger than what we are. We're the second tier company. We're the B show. Yeah, we're just there. We just so happen to listen to the fans, but we're not growing. All of the AEW marks and shields like to sit there and say we can do everything that WWE can do but better. But let's be real, Salamander. The AEW geeks know that the AEW geeks know that WWE will always be here then, now, and forever. We're in the red too, supposedly, for some monies that we invested into the video game. But don't be.
It's a new company. Y'all gonna make them little minor mistakes because you're trying to fill out. They still trying to develop their fan base though. But there are some things that AEW that do way better than what WWE is doing. For one, they debuts. They sure do know how to debut, motherfucker. I can tell you that. Hey, WWE, I don't know. Lately, they ain't been a good job at it. Build up. AEW, they sure will. They build the anticipation for a build up for a match. WWE, I don't know what the fuck is going on. Shit, they don't give us rematches week after week after week. WWE, I don't know what the fuck going on. WWE will literally give you the same match and the same outcome 4 weeks in a row. Talk about this new TV. But what do I know? I'm just Camilo Salamander.
And what do I know? I'm just KB the Mark, a supposed AEW mark by people in the comments. So what do I know? What do I know? I'm not the guy who can sit here and point out the flaws in the company that I love so much. But the WWE geeks, they don't like to be told when they're wrong. They want to ride or die with their product, and that's okay, Salamander. I'm knowing my place. I'm knowing my place here on the channel. Anything else you want to add to this Kurt Angle story before I just give my quick analysis, because we did venture off topic?
Nah, it's good.
Okay, just wanted to get that out. So there is a growing thing that I'm starting to believe, like you're starting to believe in WWE, in that there is little to no respect shown to legends. Now, there are a couple who have left, but that was after interactions with Randy Orton. But after hearing this story with Kurt Angle, why, if you already offered him the position and you didn't want to give it to him, A, why even put it in front of him? And two, why not have the balls to call him back and be like, yeah, we're going to rescind that offer? Kurt Angle has given so much to the wrestling business, and especially to WWE in his earlier runs in the in the late 90s and the early 2000s. So for Kurt Angle to be disrespected like that, I find that very disturbing. Because I don't know if you heard, but Stephanie is supposedly meeting down with TV executives, so I'm assuming Fox. Because, the ratings have been awful. And, when Fox bought them, they were expecting SmackDown to do the 2.5 mils to 3. Yeah. Really, the 3 to 3.5 mil. But their supposed suggestions is a Legends Night. But I asked myself, how many legends are you going to have at said Legends Night? You're running off legends left and right. And they're coming over here to the pissant company, as Paul Levesque said. They're coming over here to the pissant company, but what you're seeing is that they're being respected. They're given positions that they're okay with doing, being a mentor to this younger talent and help flourish this company. So now, Salamander, I ask you the question. We've seen Kurt Angle leave once. You give it any chance that he shows up in All Elite Wrestling and takes that coach role?
It's a possibility. I do know that Tony Khan did say that he has a lot of surprises coming up, especially one big surprise in September. And I have an idea that it might be Daniel Bryan.
I was thinking the same thing.
Is that they went ahead and removed him and put him in the alumni section on WWE.com. So yeah, and then plus it's been told that Daniel Bryan was done with the WWE and everything. So he's really looking for a more laid back schedule, and AEW can offer that right now because they don't have so many house shows and they don't do so much traveling as WWE do. So a lot of the big top talent is going to move over to the next company. WWE, I think 2016 is what fucked them up because they went on a signing spree, signing all of these talents and not even knowing what the fuck to do with them.
I definitely agree with that. Speaking of AEW, great segue into the next story. Jim Ross reveals what he told Malachi Black following his AEW debut. This is also coming from WrestlingInc.com. Last week, formerly known as Aleister Black, debuted on AEW television as Malachi Black, Black Mask, Cody Rhodes, and the Enforcer Arn Anderson. I got a two-part question for you. I'm gonna tell you what Jim Ross said on Busted Open Radio. So this is what he said with the debut first. He said, well, I'll tell you the honest to God truth. I didn't even know he was there. Ross said we were in a unique building that was kind of old school, had different levels and different little cubby holes. It was funny. Mark Henry, Big Show, and I shared a room for the announcers. I didn't see this guy all day long, so I was shocked at how it came off. And this is what he told Malachi Black after the debut. He said, we're counting on you. We're counting on you to play in a big way. Not just come in and be one of the boys, but come in and be one of the stars. I think he hadn't heard that in a while. And I think that meant a lot to him. I wasn't trying to blow smoke. I was just trying to say you're a highly regarded piece of talent that we value, and we're happy you're here. So now we're looking for great things. You set the bar high with your debut. Now let's see where we can take you. Two-parter. Do you like that old school approach where the announced team isn't really in the loop and they are hiding a debuting superstar from even the roster? And two, what did you think about what he said to Malachi Black?
See, my thing is fucking A. Because that's how you fucking do it. If you're gonna make a surprise debut like that, everybody should be surprised. Even if you work for the company. Like, you should be hyped. When he came back to the back room, came back from the curtain, everybody should have been, oh my God, man, where was you at? Where was you at? Like, all that stuff. Like, WWE, they would have somebody supposed to make a shocking debut, but they backstage just trolling around and it's going off on Twitter like, yeah, such was spotted backstage. John Cena, he was spotted backstage. He's going to make an appearance at SummerSlam. Like, at least AEW is really keeping the fact of kayfabe. That's one thing I can really say, because if they're gonna go for a debut, a shocking debut at that, they actually played the part and actually kept them hitting for everybody. The only person that actually knew was probably the head booker for that and Tony Khan, which is how you should that's how you fucking supposed to do it. Period.
Yeah, so before I go on, what did you think about what JR told Malachi Black?
Can you repeat what he said?
Yeah, so this is what he said. He said, we're counting on you. We're counting on you to play in a big way. Not just come in and be one of the boys, but come in and be one of the stars. I think he hadn't heard that in a while, and I think that meant a lot to him. I wasn't trying to blow smoke. I was just trying to say you're a highly regarded piece of talent that we value, and we're happy you're here. So now we're looking for great things. You set the bar high with your debut. Now let's see where we can take you.
Oh, no complaints here. I mean, it sounds like that's probably something that he needed to hear. Something that he probably would never hear at WWE. Something that he probably ain't never heard since he was Tommy N. Probably the last time he heard somebody say something like that to him. It looks like he getting the respect that he deserves. So no complaints here.
Yeah, I want to touch on a couple things. AEW has gotten the debuts wrong so many times. I can go back to the Andrade, where they kind of got that debut wrong. I thought it was a good moment. I marked out when I saw it. A lot of people are. They're divisive on it. And when AEW gets it right, you get the Malachi Black, you get the Jon Moxley debut when they get it right. So I like that they went with the real old school approach, because if here's what I don't want in a debut. I don't want my commentating team, I want them to be just as shocked as the fans. So when we debut a Malachi Black, I want my commentary team to be like, that's Malachi Black. When did he get here? He wasn't in the discussions on people who we were bringing in. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's how it should be. It should be that surprising. They should be fumbling over their words. Of course, you're going to tell one of them so one of the announcers can put it over, because somebody has to know, which is what they did with Excalibur. Excalibur was putting him over. But I like the reaction that I got from JR and Tony Schiavone. They were genuinely surprised, and isn't that what you want from your commentary team?
Yeah, because it actually comes off more authentic instead of, this is one thing I hate. You're sitting there commentating, then the camera cuts to the commentator desk by accident, or you can see it in the peripheral of the camera, and you can see Michael Cole sitting there doing this, just talking, holding a piece of paper, reading. It don't make it seem real at all. One other thing that I hate, I haven't seen AEW do it, but WWE does this all the time. The ring, well, on SmackDown, the ring is, well, sitting in the Thunderdome, the ring is right there. And the commentary desk is right there by the ring. Why do they look at the monitor when they are talking without commentating the match? The match is right there. It will really seem more realistic if you talking about the match, but you actually looking up, watching the match. I could see if the old Raw setup where they had the desk on top of the ramp, I can understand why you watching the monitor then. But the fucking desk is right there by the ring. Why are you looking at the monitor? It don't like it's certain things that AEW do that WWE doesn't do that make AEW better. Just some little things like that. Like
yeah, so the AEW desk is, remember back when it used to be on the ramp in WWE, it's just on the opposite side. So they're in that typically far right hand corner. Sometimes they're on the left depending on how the venue is, but most of the time they're on that far back right. So I definitely agree with what you're saying, because I've often had that conversation within myself as well. Like, why are you guys looking at the monitor? The match is right there in front of you.
Right.
But then again, maybe there are times where it's so far away, maybe they'll miss a spot, or if there's going to be like, you know, and some type of interference, I guess it will make sense then to look at the monitor. But I've often had that conversation with them myself. You're not alone. And to just to touch on what JR said to Malachi Black, I like that, because you got to think, he was dying over there in WWE. They hid him in a broom closet for what, 2 years? He then proceeds to have this amazing match with Buddy Murphy. And then they run it into the ground, and then they did what? Inserted him into the Seth Rollins, Rey Mysterio bullshit. Then he lost an eye. Like, there are times where you have to let them know, and you have to build them back up from the bottom. And I think that, because he said this was top 5, one of his greatest moments as a wrestler. So I can only imagine how he was feeling before the debut. He probably had it in the back of his mind, if this doesn't work, I'm done. Mm-hmm. I don't know what else can happen if they don't react. But then they get the reaction that he got, and on top of that, they immediately put you in there with a EVP and Cody Rhodes. And to get the reaction that he got, and JR telling him, you're not just one of the boys, you're a star. We want you to be a building block for this company. Sometimes that's just what great players, and you know, in any sport, great players, great wrestlers, sometimes they need to hear stuff like that, because I believe sometimes they can't just go through the motions.
It means a lot. The little things means a lot to just for the fact that you get acknowledged could just mean a lot to one person.
Definitely. And he is one of those wrestlers who deserves a pop like that. Because we know what he did in NXT. And WWE completely watered him down and pretty much destroyed his character on the main roster. So for him to get that in AEW, that was huge. Anything else you want to add?
No, sir.
Moving on to the next story. This one is also coming from WrestlingInc.com. Carmella reacts to fans not wanting her in the WWE Women's title match. So they moved it from Money in the Bank to the Friday night, this coming Friday, the first SmackDown in front of fans. They moved the title match to there. She was on Talking Smack with Pat McAfee and Caleb Braxton. And this is what she said on Talking Smack. Some people say I don't deserve it. Are you kidding me? Not only am I the most beautiful in all of WWE, I have a hell of a lot more to offer than just being a pretty face. You want to talk about the best in the women's division? Let's talk about it. Let's talk about Charlotte Flair. I beat her. Asuka, beat her too. Alexa Bliss, beat her. So who else is there? Sasha Banks, beat her. Becky Lynch, I beat her. So why the hell are we talking about me? Yes, I'm beautiful, but I can also go in the ring. How do you feel about this fiery promo from Carmella, do you think she deserves to be in this SmackDown Women's Championship match?
Okay, so she mentioned the people she beat. Is she correct? Yes. But what have you done lately? What have you done for me as the viewer lately? Nothing. So hell no, you don't deserve to be in that match. There's plenty of other women on the SmackDown roster who could have been on that match, who actually been on weekly television, who actually had some type of storyline going on within the last couple of weeks, who's been relevant. Carmella, no. To be honest, you ain't been relevant since that shit that came out with Corey Graves. After that, you kind of fell down. You ain't been relevant since you was with James Ellsworth. You ain't been relevant since you had the Money in the Bank. That's really it. The main thing I could really say that, one main thing, you ain't been relevant since you've been with R-Truth. No, you don't deserve to be in that shit. What the fuck you did the last couple weeks? Nothing. Besides just being on TV on promos and shit. Nothing.
She lost to Liv Morgan 2 weeks in a row.
Right. Shit, Liv Morgan deserves to be in that shit more than you do. Shit, at least she on TV.
Yeah, I like the promo, but being honest, she does have a point. She did beat those women. But I want to go back to when she cashed in Money in the Bank, because I remember watching it like it was yesterday. She missed the super kick. She was so anxious. And that's the thing. And I guarantee you that's probably been a talking point for Vince. Like, hey, when you're about to cash in, I get it. It's about to be a historic moment for you. But please keep cool, keep calm, and do the job. Celebration comes next after you do the job. She missed the super kick and Charlotte sold. And I'm like, oh, she missed the super kick. It's stuff like that. And that's why Vinnie Mac has a hard time trusting some of these performers, because in big moments like that, you have to deliver. You're cashing in on the queen. You can't miss a super kick. Especially in a Money in the Bank situation, you only have one time to get it right. Because we're not redoing this cash-in. And she missed. And I said, go ahead.
She bragging on all these people that she beat. Most of them motherfuckers she beat was in 2018 when she cashed in the Money in the Bank. Why are you bragging on some shit that happened years ago? That's like, that's like Steph Curry bragging on, I beat LeBron in the finals 3 times. Blah, 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 blah. But you ain't beat LeBron at all since then. It's irrelevant. What have you done lately? What have you done in the ring lately? You ain't beat Charlotte since 2018. You ain't beat Sasha since like 2018, 2019. All the people you name, it been over a year since you beat them. You ain't had a relevant storyline at all for a year, almost 2 years. The last time you've been relevant, last time you was even in the picture, was when that shit happened with Corey Graves and his wife with you.
Well, hold on, Salamander. Because I do agree. She didn't beat Becky Lynch when Becky Lynch was the man. So let's cancel out Becky Lynch. She couldn't beat Sasha for the SmackDown Women's Championship after Sasha Banks had handled Bayley. When's the last time her and Asuka even won at it? That might be the 2018 that you're talking about. And I can't even remember the last time Alexa Bliss and Carmella won at it. Nor Carmella and Charlotte Flair. That might also be a 2018. Man, so let's
talk about Alexa Bliss when she was still going by Twisted Bliss.
Yeah, like let's just put everything.
Like all this shit is old. The promo was great. The promo was great. Don't get me wrong. But you bragging on some old shit. That's like saying, oh yeah, man, back in the day, 2005, I was the man. I was the man, bro. I was the man. Was nobody messing with me 2005? No, you were irrelevant now. That's like Edge coming back before Edge even had all these matches that he had now. That's like him making his debut and be like, yeah, I beat the Undertaker. I cashed it in on him. I beat this person. I beat that. Like, You ain't had a match on in almost 6 years, dude. No, it's the same thing. Like, you ain't beat none of these people in over a year. Like, why are you bragging about that stuff? There's nothing for you to brag about. Is it on your resume? Yeah. If this was 2019, maybe. But it's 2021, boo-boo. No, you ain't had nothing relevant at all. You losing the tag teams, you getting squashed, you getting rolled up pins, all this stuff. No, it's irrelevant. They only picked you because you were the next best thing in their eyes.
Definitely agree with every last bit of that. Definitely. Moving on to our last story. This is coming from sportskita.com. Buddy Murphy reveals why he hated wrestling in NXT. Buddy Murphy was on Chris Van Vliet. He was doing an interview on there, and he was talking about just why he hated wrestling in NXT. This is what he said to Chris Van Vliet. He said, "I hated wrestling in NXT. Once the tag team broke up, I wasn't doing anything. I was off TV for a long time. We were promised stuff like me and Blake. We were going to get this thing that never happened. Then when we finally got our match together, it was 30 seconds. Samoa Joe wiped us out, and we were never seen on TV again. So then I'm doing live events and sometimes booked and not booked. Then I'm wrestling guys that were 7 feet tall who don't really know what they're doing." What do you have to say about this? And where do you think Buddy Murphy's going to end up?
Buddy Murphy is going to be all elite. Let's be real. And I only say that because that's what, to be honest, let's be real. That's what it looks like. It looks like everybody who's leaving WWE is going to AEW.
Well, hold on, Salamander. Before you continue, you know the WWE geeks are gonna say, "Well, they just keep signing up WWE's trash. Like they couldn't get over in WWE, so they got to go to the smaller company."
I mean, shit. If the smaller company gonna use you in the right way, especially at the end of the day, you know your worth. Why not? I mean, because let's be honest, all these people who's actually main event caliber are just gonna be washing their career away with the WWE if they're not getting utilized at their full capacity. AKA Aleister Black, AKA Jon Moxley, AKA Andrade, AKA Miro. They all main event caliber, but they was not getting used at their full potential. And we see what they are doing at the other company. That's all I gotta say. Buddy Murphy, you wasn't getting used at your full capacity. There was chances they could have did it, but they didn't do it. So now you gotta make them mad. Go ahead and make a name for yourself and put 2-3 years in at AEW, make a name for yourself. That way when your contract is up, WWE will come calling and actually give you the respect that you deserve. That go for all the WWE talent they are leaving and going to other companies. Do what you gotta do. Make a name for yourself so you can come back if you want to come back. But most importantly, make a name for yourself so you can get that respect that you actually deserve that WWE wouldn't have gave you.
I definitely agree with what you're saying 100%. And I just want to touch on just Buddy Murphy real quick. And then I'm going to touch on Miro and just how the WWE Rusev and Miro are completely different. So it's amazing how WWE called Buddy Murphy their best kept secret. Yeah, he was never treated like the best kept secret. He had the fantastic match on SmackDown with Roman to nothing happen off of it. He had the amazing set of matches with Aleister Black at the time. And then he got with Seth Rollins and became one of the disciples. And I'm thinking this is a great use of Buddy Murphy. But what do we see all the time? WWE picks out the guy who's always going to be more popular instead of just running with the tag team. They put the belt on Buddy Murphy and Seth Rollins to have him lose it to the Street Profits. I can't remember. Was it at WrestleMania that they lost it, or was it the week before? And then they ran the rematch at WrestleMania. I think it was the week before they lost it and they ran the rematch at WrestleMania. But it's shit like that, Salamander, that makes me look at WWE and ask, what the fuck are your writers doing? You have a guy like Buddy Murphy, to me, who really doesn't even need a storyline. You throw him out there and say have a banger. The Aleister Black and Buddy Murphy will always be the example of guys without a storyline who just know how to put on a hard-hitting affair. They put on this fantastic match, and then you run that shit into the ground. Like, imagine those two at it in AEW. We probably wouldn't even get that first match out of them until 3 to 4 weeks after we built it up. WWE just wants to throw it to you because they don't have anything else to do. And I want to touch on the Rusev and Miro. The Rusev character, when he debuted with Lana, he was over.
They fucked up with Rusev twice.
Yeah, because he was over with the Rusev Day with Aiden English. But they let that
shit. They dropped the ball the first time when he actually made him lose clean to John Cena. Then they fucked up again by not actually giving him the proper push with the Rusev Day. Because even Aiden English, he ain't even had to be a wrestler. He could have transitioned all the way to his
manager.
His speaker, his voice, and that was it. Like we was loving that. But like I said, WWE, they would not list. They claim to list their fans, but they don't, because if they did, Rusev would be like a 3-time WWE champion right now.
And here's the thing, Salamander. There in WWE, you don't have creative control. He came into AEW as the best man. People weren't really feeling that. So then he transitions into the Rusev the Miro that we all wanted. Now he's a killer. Now he's tweaked his gimmick to the Redeemer, God's favorite champion. And it's one of the most over things at AEW. It goes to show what can happen when you let these wrestlers be themselves.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, come on. Like, and I sent you a video. I couldn't tell you Rusev's best promo in WWE, but I can pull 2 right off the bat in AEW where he's thanking God for giving him his strength and for keeping his hot wife flexible. Like, you can't make this shit up, bro. This shit's unscripted. This is just what this man, he just said, put the camera in front of me, I'ma go. And he just came up with, I want to thank God. Like, come on. Like, Salamander, you can't write this shit. You can't make this shit up, bro. There's a huge difference between the Rusev character and the Miro character, and it's leaps and bounds. They had Lana with Rusev because they were scared of Rusev cutting a promo. Now in AEW, he's knocking promos out the fucking park. It really goes to show what happens if you sit back, shut the fuck up, and let these wrestlers have some type of input on what the fuck they want to do. Am I in the ballpark?
Nah, you on point.
And don't get me wrong, you can't give everybody a chance like that. But, and it goes back to WrestleMania night 1 with the rain delay. The people who cut those amazing promos at the beginning. Why do they need scripted promos? Like Drew McIntyre cut an amazing promo, and like you pointed out, where he told the reporter to interview him a certain way so his back wasn't to Bobby Lashley.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's shit like that. Like, why? If they showed you on WrestleMania night 1 that they can cut a promo, why the fuck are we still scripting these people? Why the fuck is Drew McIntyre all of a sudden turned into a history teacher?
Why are we, WrestleMania was in April. Why is it July and we kind of still getting the Drew McIntyre? Well, why is it it took all the way to the beginning of July for us to finally throw away the Drew McIntyre Bobby Lashley match, where Drew McIntyre lost every single time except for one time, and that was a fucking roll up. Like, it don't make no sense. He first of all, he got put to sleep the first time. Second time he got speared the fuck out the ring. it was over. So forth and so forth. Like you get all these opportunities and you still losing badly. It's just making your character look. Now, Drew McIntyre back at 2009 to me, in my eyes. He ain't even that Scottish psychopath that they giving him and how he was when he came back. I don't even see that no more. I see Drew McIntyre back when he was at 09, when he was with the 3MB. That's what it seemed like right now. Just because they dropped the ball so many times. Like you lost to this one person time after time. But yet you go through the whole roster, beat everybody, get a title opportunity, lose, go through the whole roster, beat everybody, get a title opportunity, get put to sleep, go through the whole roster, beat everybody, get a title opportunity, lose. His character is done for me. I don't want to see this motherfucker on my TV no more. They giving us Drew McIntyre and Jinder Mahal. We should have got that shit when they first advertised it, like 2 years ago. When they first gave us the 3MB teaser, that's what we should have got there. They giving this shit so late. They just trying to keep him on TV because they think he's a draw. But really, y'all just damaging his character. The best thing to do for him is to keep him off TV for at least 3 months.
They had this storyline perfected and ready to go after Drew beat Brock and the Big Show WrestleMania 2 years ago. Easily could have slid Jinder Mahal in there and told the story, because the bullshit story that they're telling us now that it's over family heirlooms and it's real mid-cardish. And the story that you could have been telling is, I'm Jinder Mahal. I made my comeback to this company, won the gold, but I was never presented opportunities after I lost. Drew McIntyre has lost multiple title matches and has received numerous other title matches. Where was my respect when I lost the WWE title to AJ Styles? I never got my rematch. That's what you can base that story off of, instead of Claymore, swords, and motorcycles. Mm-hmm. And people not texting back, and when they text back, it was the number 2 indicating that he thinks he's better than me. There's a huge difference, and now you've made Drew McIntyre mid-card light, and they think Drew McIntyre is going to get cheered. I'm pretty much banking on Drew McIntyre getting booed out of the fucking arena when they do Money in the Bank. And if he doesn't, when he goes up there and they're going to do that tease of him winning Money in the Bank, you'll hear the boos then. You are going to hear the boos then.
We need fans back into the arena.
It ain't gonna matter.
Calls without fans. They don't know what to do because they don't. All right, we have this person win. We ain't got no reaction. They don't know what to do. That Thunderdome shit, it's not working. It's played out, in my opinion. When they first came out with the pandemic, they should have came out with the Thunderdome then. And then the second half of the pandemic should have been shit set up like NXT. That's how the fuck they should have did it. And then now they about to have fans back. Boom. But now it's like they don't know what to do because those sounds that they're playing on Thunderdome, that's 2K. That's from 2K. It's not real. That's from 2K. They don't have real authentic sounds, so they don't know what's really getting over, what's really not, because for one, they don't listen to us. They really only listen during the live show when it's the crowd. They ain't got nobody there, so they keep that's part of a reason, an explanation why they keep giving us this bullshit. They literally have this show on repeat. A couple weeks ago, I actually tried to watch Raw, and I had to look on the date to make sure it says new on the description. I'm like, damn, I swore this was a rerun. Like, it's ridiculous at this point. How the fuck is Raw giving us repeats but SmackDown now? Not. Y'all the same company.
Well, SmackDown has been with Liv Morgan versus Carmella, Shinsuke Nakamura versus Baron Corbin. They've been giving us repeats, but
that's two matches versus a 3-hour show that was literally the same 3 hours last week.
I'm with you. I agree 100%.
It's horrible, man. It is horrible. Like, I don't know. Look. SmackDown, A show. NXT, B show. Raw, the C show. The C show. Shit, no. NXT UK, C show. Raw is the fucking D show. Fuck. 205 Live is still on.
I think they're about to merge with NXT.
205 Live right now is doing better than Raw. Raw is fucking horrible. The only thing, if you take the Almighty out of Raw, nobody tuning into that shit. Nobody. Raw, get y'all shit together. What the fuck is y'all doing? Man. Well, that's it, guys. Thank you for tuning in to another episode of D&B Podcast. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And until then, we'll see you on the next one.